Alright, so here's my video journal for Mr. Burns. For the first question, what I found the most memorable about the play was how they actually incorporated The Simpsons in the play. When I first started reading the play, I was kind of confused and couldn't really figure out why the play was called Mr. Burns. And I thought it was just really cool how they were going around and then actually performing old Simpsons episodes to the people. For the second question, one of the themes would be that you don't need technology to have fun. I say this is a theme because all the characters in the play seem to be pretty content with just talking to each other and not having any technology and just having a good time with each other's company. Another thing that seems to be present in the play is that you should be thankful for what you have because you could lose everything you have. The reason I think that is because the nuclear meltdown happened randomly and no one was really ready for it. So I think that's something that we gotta be looking for today because you never know when a disaster could happen. The last theme that seems to be in the play is that family, in most times, will always be there for you. I think that because in the third act, it is about the Simpsons and how they're all about to die, but even though they think they're all going to die, they still stick together. For the third question, I think this play is a play within a play because in Act 3, it is based 75 years later and it has the actors actually reenacting one of the old Simpsons episodes. Act 3 relates back to the previous two acts because it is how there's a nuclear disaster and how everyone in town is fleeing, and that is exactly what's happening. That is basically what happened in Act 1. Act 3 also relates to the other acts because it's all about the Simpsons, and in the previous acts the characters were actually reenacting old Simpsons episodes. Lastly, Act 3 also deals with Bart trying to get killed, and in all the other scenes they were talking about the Simpsons episode where Sideshow Bob was actually trying to kill Bart. I think the significance of a play within a play was to bring everything together because throughout the whole play they had been talking about old Simpsons episodes to pass time, and then when they actually reenacted the whole Simpsons episode, I think it brought it all together. I think this play tells us that the world of Mr. Burns 75 years later is still struggling, but it is slowly coming together, and it's still remembering things that had happened years ago before the nuclear meltdown. For the fourth question, I think some popular culture stories that deal with living past the apocalypse would be The Walking Dead. I think it's a good example because you have a handful of people that all have to group together so that they don't get infected by the zombies. I think that the story is important in a post-apocalyptic world because it shows that you definitely increase your chances of survival if you stick together instead of thinking you're better than everyone and can do it yourself. Well, those are my responses.